Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandoned Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this edition of the Crash Course, episode number 304 on deck. Thanks a lot for tuning in at home. We are here live at the North Park Building at Academy Square in Seneca Falls. Stacked show on deck here tonight. We've got tons of stuff to run through. We're going to be talking with Seth Steinmeyer first, Matt Hurt, and Andrew Lewis, all about Cornhusker Chaos, which was Logan Dowhy's Wreckless Promotions event that was held in Kearney, Nebraska, one of the indoor shows there. We got a lot of stuff pertaining to the Northeast. We got some stuff pertaining to Florida. It's going to be a very, very busy one. First and foremost, happy birthday to Mark Benjamin. Mark Benjamin has been a longtime supporter of the show, so congratulations to him for making it this long. He's won a ton of derbies. Happy birthday out to him. Wicked, Brandon Dixon and Wicked, they've got their shows coming up here pretty soon. We're going to try and catch up with Brandon if he's got some time for us next week, in addition to catching up with some of the folks with the Derby down in Wytheville, Virginia, the indoor Derby in Virginia, and then we're going to also try and catch up with Todd Siopa. We're going to give you a few more details on Todd Siopa's event a little bit later on, pertaining to the Florida Southern Nationals, February 1st, down in Arcadia, Florida. We're going to be getting into some of that. The Wicked Team Show, the Redneck Rumble, which is the one that we were referring to a minute ago, $30,000 purse. That's going to be Saturday, January 25th. Again, we'll touch on that a little bit more later on as well. So, again, lots of stuff to cover. Spinning Wheels, I saw Spinning Wheels made some posts in the Northeast page today. So that was exciting to see. They've got a few more rules-related meetings so they can finalize the rule book, and they're going to get some dates out there for you. Kings of Old School has a couple dates that are coming up as well. They're going to have 3 dates up at Cobleskill in addition to a September show with the traditional Kings of Old School format along those lines. And then we've got the swap meet coming up here in New York, just a couple towns over. February the 29th is the date for that. That is the Ellison's swap meet that's going to be held February the 29th. So lots of stuff going on there. We're going to try and get in a little bit deeper. We've got so much stuff to pack in the next 6 weeks. It certainly does appear that the Demolition Derby season has hit its stride, and we're already there, and it's only February. We're going to get Seth Steinmeyer. He is waiting in the wings. We're going to be talking to him about his win in the Limited Weld championship event that was part of Cornhusker Chaos. But before we do that, just to let you know, some of the popular names that were finishing in the top spots at the 2020 Cornhusker Chaos event in Kearney, Nebraska. Kurt Strong and Zach Fetro teaming to win the duo driver feature. Matt Rosno, and Craig Johnson second in that one. In the duo driver feature number 2, Mark Callahan and Cohen Callahan working together to win that over Mike Kamler and Clay Davis. Old School Feature 1, Jacob Habs won that one. Cyrus Thomas was second. He got the Mad Dog Award in that. In the second one, Ozzy Romero won that over Ben Paicha. In the third, TJ Baxter won over Michael Wise. And the raffle car right there was out there in that, finished a little bit way down the list. As we talked about, Seth Steinmeyer coming up with the cruising it at the wire. Seth Steinmeyer coming up with a win in the Limited Weld Singles. Delton Haynes winning the Mad Dog Award. And in the truck feature, we had Brandon Yeager winning over Kelly Fowler. In the compact team feature, Scott Mulder and Trevor Mulder winning over Justin Paulson and Josh Herdig. And then Mad Dog Award went to Justin Paulson in that one. Timothy Jockin won the Mad Dog Award for the trucks. Limited Weld team final, Jacob Schuster and Andrew Lewis winning there. Andrew Lewis taking the Mad Dog Award in that one. And we're going to be talking with Andrew at the bottom of the show. And look at that, sliding in just like you knew what you were doing. Camera sized up and everything. I should probably open your microphone. So there's some results from Cornhusker Chaos. I know it was a little bit of a long list, but the one that sort of gained the most attention was that Limited Weld feature with Matt Hurt's big rollover, and Seth Steinmeyer was right there in the middle of it, and it turned into the biggest win of your career, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So how excited were you to not be the one that was looking at the ceiling?
I was dang excited. That was probably one of the coolest things that I've ever gotten to see, like right in front of me.
And it was very much right in front of him. When we get Matt on the line, we're going to play that clip. So we've got that all queued up. So we'll be able to show you a little bit of that stuff. Take me through that event as a whole, Cornhusker Chaos 2020. You guys wrecked a ton of cars out there. It was a small arena, which it's not a criticism. It made you have to drive, and as we were talking before the show started, you said you had to know where you were and where everybody else was at all times. How was Cornhusker Chaos?
Oh man, it's the ultimate head on a swivel track because it's tacky, it was fast, it was bumpy, it was, man, you just had to be ready. Honestly, the show itself, it went from, man, everyone was buzzing around, and then next thing you know, there was like 3 cars left, and 2 rollovers later, and it was just crazy.
The final few moments, with that many cars still going, it's kind of hard to keep tabs on it because it's small and it's fast. I mean, Brian's over here nodding his head. He's done that at Seneca County plenty of times. Sorry, Josh Buell. Trying to keep tabs on who's where, and then all of a sudden you look around and there's 2 or 3 cars left. Was there a moment where you looked around and you saw it's like, oh, holy crap, I'm one or two hits away from winning $1,500?
To be honest, when the second rollover happened, I kind of knew that I was going to have a pretty good shot at it, even with no steering.
That limited weld build kind of works all right for you.
That is my favorite build, absolutely. I feel like I have a pretty good handle on the VIX for these rules.
Yes. Yes.
It's funny, last week and the week before we mentioned the incredible run that Steiny had up to Winter Slam, one of the last times we were there. And then he goes out and pulls the big one off in Nebraska. It's good to see. I mean, congratulations on the win. I'm a couple minutes late here, bud, but I thought maybe he'd retired. I hadn't heard much out of the drive, and then all of a sudden I see your smiling face after the Derby. Good to see you still know what you're doing out there.
Oh yeah, to be honest, I kind of lost the itch there for a little while after I ran the Blizzard Bash team show stuff, and it just that's a lot of work, I tell you what, and a lot of money. It really takes a lot out of a guy. I had to take a while off and just kind of do my thing.
You know what? And that's a good thing to do as well. I went through the same thing at one point. I obviously didn't run Blizzard Bash to get wore out, but I just money got tight, and I had some other things I had to take care of, and I stepped back for a couple of years, and now I've been running at least 1 or 2 shows the last couple of years, and 5 or 10, I guess, looking back. But obviously, I mean, things are still going pretty good for you. What's next? I mean, we gonna see it back at Blizzard Bash this year, or what?
I think Blizzard Bash is a little bit out of my stretch. We got a pretty cool show coming up here in just 30 minutes from home.
Cool.
Stanton County is putting on. This is the first year this is happening. It's 8 teams, and it's a 18 teams, 2-man team show. And it's $8,000 to win that. And
wow.
It was pretty hard to say no with the 30-minute drive, and I absolutely love that track. So
who are you running with?
Dalton Wortman.
Nice.
Cool.
So,
yeah, I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but sorry, Dalton.
That's all right. Not many people watch us anymore anyway. It's cool.
He'll forgive me. It's all right.
Wasn't Rosno involved with the heavy hitter in one of the classes out there, too? Wasn't he a passenger in the heavy hitter or something?
Isn't he involved in every heavy hitter at every show?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think him and Skylar McLean got one in the Bone Stock Duo.
Yeah, it was the 2-man class, the first feature. They won that, and Kenny's out there getting Mad Dog Awards. Matt got second place.
Yeah, it's hard to forget.
Sounds kind of like how it works with them.
Yeah, they drive like that. But I think Rosno might have been running the pedals. I don't think he was running. He wasn't steering, I don't think. I think he was in the passenger seat.
I would prefer him.
I don't think he gave Skylar a choice.
If somebody said you have to ride with Kenny Rosno, I want him steering.
Yeah. Well, you rode with Jeremy Gully. I mean, that's he was steering.
Close.
He was steering and running the pedals. How'd that work out for you?
Almost broke my leg.
All right, let's check it. But no, congratulations, man. That had to feel pretty good to get out there and pick up that big W.
Oh man, I don't know if I've ever been that excited.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, getting the big hug from Rosno coming flying around the corner as soon as I got out of my car was probably one of the coolest things ever.
That's cool.
How old are you now?
24.
Wow, what a youngster.
So he's 24. He's already taken his first break.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
but I mean they were pretty heavy. I mean he was into it pretty heavy. I mean he's been through losing a shop once. Went to Blizzard Bash. I mean he's went through some
covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, he's been through some stuff. I can understand that.
Yeah, we've attempted a thing or two.
But how great is it to hear somebody at the age of 24 already taking a break with the intent of getting back into it, not waiting another 5-6 years and getting burned out and leaving it all together.
Mm-hmm.
And 30 minutes from his house, they got a new derby coming up. He said it was 18 teams. That's a 36-car derby if it's full.
Yeah.
$8,000 to win is nothing to frown at either. Two man.
They actually filled it up within 31 seconds of opening it, and had so many teams that they have to run an overflow heat now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
hey, my advice is if Rosno's there, stay out of his way.
Yeah, I was pretty glad to hear that he might not be on the driver list.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Nebraska's kind of like, for whatever reason, Nebraska kind of gets shunned. I don't know if it's shunned. They don't get the respect they should in the derby world. There are some great.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, they'll talk about Utah, or they'll talk about Ohio, or they'll talk about Kansas. But I mean, think of the drivers that we've seen that have come out of Nebraska. I mean, there's been some excellent drivers. Turner brothers, right? Mm-hmm. The Rosno kid. I mean, there's been some kids. Good, and it's
plural.
Yeah. And I mean, they always have great derbies.
Seth Steinmeyer lives in Nebraska.
Seth Steinmeyer. But I mean, obviously, I mean, every year there's the Husker Havoc. I mean, that was a big derby for a few years out there.
Dylan Lane.
Yeah, Dylan Lane. There's a lot of things that go on.
Sam Williams.
There's a lot of things. He's been done a thing or two in the derby world. But it's just sometimes I was thinking about
Mike
that.
Brown lives in Missouri, right?
Yes. Yeah. But definitely there's a lot of good derbying that goes on in Nebraska, and I don't think they get enough people think about it.
King of the Ring. That was Matt Vern Newcomb's deal. That's in Nebraska too, isn't it? That's in Geneva?
Yes, sir. Yeah. That's actually their so Chad Markley had that in York last year.
Right, and that's right. Crash Fest Express sold that, didn't he?
He had a heck of a show there with that. And they turned up and they're going to move that to Missouri somewhere.
Okay.
I think. And then basically Vern said, well, there's enough interest still around here that they went ahead and made another one. Cool. In York again. So there's actually 2 King of the Rings this year in 2 separate places. Same general format, same idea. The 60 cars go out there and they pull off 30 when 30 are dead, and you get a pit and all that stuff.
It's such a cool format.
I was going to say that would be the coolest. You think that would work anywhere here on the East Coast?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes, it would work. If we did it compact style rules. I think it would. I think it would work with compacts, and I think it might work with full size cars. The problem is the pit stop would come like 15 minutes in.
Yeah,
because everybody's gonna just go ballistic, and it's gonna be 15 minutes. 30 cars are out, and then they're gonna go to a pit, and then the final 30 cars are gonna take 45 minutes to to an hour. But I mean, not that there's necessarily a problem with that. I just think that first 30 is gonna go really fast.
Yeah, that would be cool too. I've always thought that would be a neat way, or a neat derby to run in. Obviously, I'm not going to hook up and haul to Nebraska, but it would be cool to run in a derby like that. That sounds like fun.
Are you running that this year? Either one of them, for that matter?
Not the King of the Ring this year with that Stanton show. I'm going to focus pretty much on that, and I got a couple guys just around here that want me building cars for them and stuff. So I do that as much as I can, and just try to hit my county fairs and that kind of stuff. And then with that Stanton show coming up, I'm going to focus hard on that.
Cool.
So I assume that you building cars for other people cuts into you building cars for yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. Cornhusker Chaos was cutting it pretty dang close on my own car.
Yeah.
That was the last day of registration was the day I decided that we were going to go. And the car was no front stub, no rear end, no nothing.
That's crazy.
No better time than the last minute, I suppose, right?
If it's not last minute, it's not really worth it. I mean,
It sure makes it a little bit sweeter for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's, you have to bust ass and, and it always seems, at least for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but if I'm doing things last minute like I usually do, there's always something that goes wrong right along in there. So if you do have some success afterwards, it feels even better.
Yeah,
I definitely know what you're talking about. We've had that with racing as well as derbying. Not as much at derbying, but it definitely is.
If you get it done ahead of time, usually you can find those failure points, and then you have time to fix them a little bit more.
How many years have you been doing this show?
Oh, I don't know, 6 years.
Okay, in that 6 years, how many times have you heard guys get stuff done early enough to go back and look over them?
Every time we talk to somebody, they're like, "Well, we still got a few things we can go back over, right?"
Yeah, it never seems to happen, and it's great. I love it because I thought I was the only one in America, and now I've heard the biggest names in America, let alone us little guys that they're always last minute. So I think it's just part of the show, part of the game.
You said you'd like to focus on your county fair stuff. Winter Slam's probably off the table this year because that's right around the corner. I'm guessing probably Capital City Carnage, given that that's in Kansas. It's not gonna happen there. Beyond your county fairs and after you get past the Stanton show, are you going to do anything in the fall? Going to try and travel a little bit?
I'll be at Blizzard Bash to watch and help, and then I'd really like to get down to Vegas.
Right.
I just think that would be so cool to go watch. And then hopefully me and Dalton are going down to Chaos as a team this year.
Which Chaos?
Cornhusker Chaos, sorry.
Okay, next
year.
year.
2021.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Well, look at that. Got the calendar all planned out. Welcome back to Demolition Derby. Everything's going well, it appears. I think it's a good day to be Seth Steinmeyer.
A year ahead of time.
2020 is looking pretty good.
Cool. Is there anything that we missed? Anybody that you want to thank or recognize to help make this one possible?
I got a list here, man.
Go ahead. That's fine.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my mom, Dad, Cully, Quinn, Keegan, Adam, and the suitors for all your help out at the hotel. Ben, Nick, Tyler, Uncle Rick, A2Z, WRP, and NLR, man. Without them guys, this just ain't happening.
Cool.
That was a very Jimmy Johnson list. Awesome job.
Absolutely.
I like it.
You got everybody.
I was prepared.
You always are. Well, man,
thank you very much, man.
Super happy for you. I was so glad when Matt relayed that you won. I wasn't really up to speed on everything that had happened out there. So to find out that you won, I was very excited to hear it. I'm glad you came on and hang out with us for a little while.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You bet, man. Stay in touch. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Have a good one, man.
See you out. There goes
Later.
Seth Steinmeyer winning the limited weld side of things over there at Cornhusker Chaos. So as we promised, just to catch you up to speed, Brian, because you came to class a little tardy. Mark Benjamin had a birthday.
Yep. I think he's 57 now.
I just said congratulations on living this long.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a surprise to everyone.
Absolutely.
Spinning Wheels dates are forthcoming. A couple meetings left to tend to finalize rules.
I've heard some rumors. Kind of interesting.
Very interesting. The muscle car heat is going to be fun.
Some other stuff, but yeah, I look forward to that. I wouldn't mind running that muscle car thing. Take a nice Camaro down there and just
looked like there was a Barracuda that Josh had found that he had got his hands on. So that's kind of cool. The big glass house rear window.
Yep.
Careful taking the glass out. You might be able to pay for the car.
Yeah. And then some.
And then Kings of Old School, they got the dates in August for Cobleskill, and then they're coming back around. I saw that Brett had commented that in September they're going to be busy with the standard Kings of Old School, a regular fair that you're used to seeing year in and year out. So that's going to be happening there. if you're ready for this, try and get your head around it. January 25th, day after your birthday, we're already at Redneck Rumble.
January 25th is my birthday.
I thought it was the 24th.
5th.
Oh, I hope nobody questions that on your flight tickets.
After all these years, you screwed up my birthday?
I don't know now. Now I'm not sure.
No, it's the 25th.
I think it says January 24th, 1975.
January 25th, 1974.
So
dyslexia. You might have to call and fix that.
Yeah, we're going to have to look real close at that.
Jeremy Gard had a birthday.
Oh, cool.
I wished him a happy 50th, and he said,
32?
Yeah, right. 42, I believe he said.
So the reason why we're laughing and joking about plane tickets is we are officially going to Florida.
We are.
For the Florida Southern Nationals. We're going to be down there with a litany of talents. Mark Elliott's going to be there. Tixie's going to be there. Skinny's going to be there. Jason Sauer's going to be on site. Josh and Ben, obviously Josh Decker, Ben Host, and if you're new to the show, those guys are going to be down there working with Iron City Promotions, which is pretty cool, and we're going to be on track shot for a little bit while we're down there. It's going to be the 36-hour tour of Arcadia, Florida. But,
I was looking at stuff today, and it's going to be a lot like our trip to Utah. We're going to get there, get about 3 hours sleep, go to the track, derby, go back to the airport, maybe sleep there for 3 hours, and fly back home. Not that I'm complaining, because I didn't realize that was Super Bowl Sunday that we're coming back.
I know. I realized it after the fact, too. When I saw the championship games, the conference championship games for next week, I got thinking, wait a second.
Yeah. So, we got to thank Todd Siopa. Todd stepped up and wanted us to come down and be a part of the show. We really appreciate that. Todd's always supported us from day one. It was nice to feel so welcome. Glad I was able to get the time off from work. Had to do a little slicing and dicing, but it's going to be cool. They're in a new, I believe it's a rodeo arena, sort of thing. So I'm thinking, they're going to have no track problems this year. I'm gonna believe that. And if you haven't seen the entry list, there's a lot of good guys going to be there. Going to be Imperials there. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be wild. Be cool working with Josh and Ben again. Haven't done that in a little while, so looking forward to it. Chris and I are gonna fly down and enjoy a little sun and hopefully sun.
Yeah.
Hopefully sun. Anything's going to be better.
We're trying to pack light for this trip because it's going to be so fast.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is have to go out and buy rain slickers.
If we're inside, it's good, but we'll go from the car to the building, the car to the plane, and out of there. So, yeah, it came about quick. Excited about it. Ready to go down to Florida. I was there, 2-3 years ago now. One of the first ones I was at. So.
Yeah, we're going to try and catch up with Todd next week. We're going to try and catch up with Brandon Dixon next week, and then we're going to be talking with some of the representatives for the Derby in Wytheville, the indoor Derby on February 22nd. Try and catch up with those guys as well. It's going to be stacked from here until the other side of Capital City Carnage. Capital City Carnage is sitting out there as well. So, in addition to going to the Florida Southern Nationals, we are going to be going out to Topeka. One more time, Capital City Carnage, limited weld, 10,000 to win division, 50-car limit, $2,500 Mad Dog. Not too bad right there, 50 cars. Your odds are awful good. Two-man extreme class, that's also 10,000 to win, 50-car limit there.
How crazy is that?
I know, right? 2,500 to win Mad Dog. They've added this year the front-wheel drive hobo stock and the weld street stock, which is joining the weld compacts and the modifieds. Each of those support classes are 25-car limit, 2,500 to win. They're paying the top four March 6th and 7th online, capitalcitycarnage.com, at the Stormont Vale Event Center in Topeka, Kansas. So, online again, capitalcitycarnage.com. So, we're going to turn our attention now back to the topic at hand, talking a little bit about the Cornhusker Chaos event, and we're going to get Matt Hurt on the line to talk a little bit about his whoops, I hit the wrong thing there. We didn't need that. We need that. There we go. That way they don't get to watch me dial the phone.
Yeah, we looked like it was quite a good show. I seen some of the videos, and it definitely looked tight. It looked like probably the size of the Rochester War Memorial, I'm guessing.
Yep.
Hey, which, maybe we'll have a derby there next year.
Really, when you look at the walls, it looks a lot like the Hobart Fieldhouse.
Oh, Bristol?
Yeah, the Bristol Fieldhouse.
That'd
Look
be
at the way
cool.
those walls are built.
I think we could convince Hobart to do that.
That'd be awesome.
Guessing not in that school.
Oh, sorry. I'll call Matt. Thanks. That was Seth again.
Whoops. That happens sometimes on the big jobs.
Yeah, that's why it's live.
If it wasn't live, it wouldn't be fun.
If it wasn't live, it wouldn't be fun. Mm-hmm. It'd be live to tape anyway. We're just fine. Arcadia, Florida. The week after that, I got to work on dirt track streams from down in Florida. Cool.
Did you see that Ken and Egg was...
I sure did. I was very surprised when I saw that. Land of Legends. Hey, Matt, it's Chris. Let me put you in.
You know, it's strange that dirt track racing has picked up so much from on the live stream side of things. Just saying.
It's pretty awesome the way that the dirt track world has embraced the live streaming stuff, because that's a hard sell. Well, that's a hard sell when you're doing any live streaming stuff, really, because everybody automatically makes the assumption that you are going to give people the opportunity to watch from home, which you are. But there's nothing like being there in person. You are not going to lose grandstand attendance unless it's rainy, then maybe some. But if you're pay-per-viewing the stuff, the kickback, it all ends up to the plus, and it gives everybody a chance. All the drivers want to see the thing the first time before they go. If they can watch it from the comfort of their own home, then it turns out to be a destination derby, and then we watch the machine go into work just like it always does. So, Matt Hurt joining us online. Matt, man, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
We're doing just fine. The hit heard round the world out of Cornhusker Chaos with that big rollover. I mean, that turned out to be one of the defining hits from the action out there with in Kearney, Nebraska, much like a couple years ago when the Bluegrass Bash ended with the two cars standing themselves up, one landing on top of each other. You're going to be a household name by the end of summer.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but yeah, it was a good hit. Yep.
Talked to Seth, and Seth said that he saw everything kind of happening out the corner of his eye, and had the good sense to stay right where he was, and the crosshairs never landed on him. And he said it was the craziest thing he's ever seen in person. What did it look like from your point of view?
Well, it was, when I went out there to finish off that car, hoping to do that. With those 70 seconds, didn't quite do that. But from my point of view, I was just full throttling everyone that I could. And then when I hit him, I seen him go over, and I just stayed in it, thinking I might as well keep pushing in that wall. And then he kept rolling. And then next time I noticed, I'm in what I call is like mission control. I'm looking straight up and down, I was looking at the roof, the roof of the building. So at first, my first thought was, holy crap, I'm sitting up literally on my butt. And then when Scott Bauer from Postal Mopar, he was working for Wreckless, came over, and I seen his face. Then, I was kind of hollering at him, is he okay? Is he okay? And he kind of gave him the shrug. I don't know, because he had no idea where the kid under me was sitting as well.
Right.
But from my point of view, it was fun. It was fun to make the hit. It was fun to hit people hard. That's what the crowd wants to see, and that's what I like to do.
Sure.
I like, that's what demo is, to hit hard and hit everyone he can. So.
Well, we got a clip of it. This is a clip that Matt had sent me here. We're going to take a quick look at that, and we'll be right back after we take a look at it. Here it is. Matt had referenced it was only about a 70-second run for him, unfortunately. But the band started tuning up right about here. Now off to the left, you can see it. That exchange with Seth started to happen and take shape. It's going to get real interesting here in a minute. got the full roll.
That's crazy.
Pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow.
So the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the hit was the well-being of the driver, because you see the driver's door was coming down on top of the concrete, but that's why the halo bars are there, and everybody was okay. Unfortunately, though, after laying a hit like that early in the going, that was as far as you got because the thing hydro-locked on you.
Right, yeah. I know when I spoke to you early in the week, that's what I thought. Sitting so high like that, sitting so straight up and down, that motor is vertical. I thought those cylinders filled up with oil. But I got her home. She didn't when I got down and Logan and his boys placed it. She just clicked. I was like, oh crap! What did I lock up? I got home and she fired right up, blew a bunch of fuel out the stack. So I'm guessing she flooded. That's what stopped me was I kept it in and then she died. So she flooded out when she was sitting up and down. So
right. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
right. Because like I said, to begin with, I wanted to finish that car off. The first thing when I walked up to Logan, I was like, if this thing fires, I got to keep going. He's like, yeah, you got to keep going. Because that car's been around all summer, and I'm ready for my new build. So now I'm just sitting here like, okay, one more early spring show, here we go. So
what did you run for gears in that?
That's 456s.
Oh, okay.
That's just and that's the killer. That's why that car's been sitting around so long is. I build my own stuff, I'm with M&M Fabrication. Well, I am M&M Fabrication with the sliders and pedals. And so I like to build my own stuff. So I've been playing with rear ends and just having, I built a 10-bolt, I put 30 years ago. I put 30 Mosier 35s in a 10-bolt, and I machined down my pinion to make it work. Everybody said, oh, you can't put gears in with 35s. Well, that was before they made that spool that you had machined down so you could throw 35s into a spool. So I made my own, and I put a hefty motor in there. I spun my gears, so I've gone through. That's the third rear end of that car. So now it's about time I start saving some money and do it right and buy a Postal, and get something that'll hold up. So yeah, that's just a 10-12 with some 56s in it. So.
Wow, I wondered if guys would be running 513s and stuff like that for the smaller arena like that.
Yeah, it picked up and moved pretty quick. When the short distances on that first car, it was, when he was in the wall, it was staying with it and moving hard, and then that was more like a 3/4 shot on that rollover, but it got moving pretty quick across there. So, and that track, Logan and the guys, they had that track nice and tight. It was a very, very quick track. So they were digging, there was a little bit of concrete I think some people were hitting when they were sitting a little bit with the smoke flying. So it was nice and tight.
That's awesome.
It looked pretty tight. It looked pretty grippy. Those guys were getting up and going right away, taking right off.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
That, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's a little bit smaller track. You definitely want something where you can get a hold of and make the shots count. And obviously they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Take us through the rest of the night. The show, in addition to having a great surface, which is a huge part of an indoor show, tons of cars got wrecked. Pretty decent money paid out front to back, and it went through a pile of cars in a pretty decent amount of time. Tell us a little bit about the show as a whole from your perspective.
The show was great. Logan's in his second year as a promoter, and I think the way he's put that show together, that's year 2 of Chaos. I thought it went, very, very good. Good show out, good local show out. It was fun to see a lot of the Nebraska drivers. There's a good amount of, the who's in Nebraska coming together and wreck some stuff. And it was cool to see us all get together. We all run across the state. Everybody goes here, everybody goes there. And it was kind of fun to have one local big show where everybody gets together, have a big fun pit meeting with a meal the night before, and then we all pit together. We're all in there. Everybody's talking, helping each other out, throwing parts there. Everybody kind of feeding off of each other and then just wrecking some stuff. It was very well ran. Loved the 2-day show, and it moved quick. It was fun. Hard hitting. That was another thing, too. I was afraid that, once even we got in the feature, even, the contests you knew were going to hit hard, and in the heats we're going to hit hard, but that feature, there was very little sandbagging, and I don't know if you got a hold of Andrew Lewis or not, or talking to Logan, but Andrew, he's a freight train. He's fun to watch, and he loves hitting. It's fun to watch him. He puts himself in a corner, and he he revs it up, and then whoop, he lets them have it. It don't matter who you are. So that's what we like, in Nebraska is, you got the people that like to drive and win. You got some big hard hitters as well. So from my point of view as a driver, and of course spectator for a good amount of it because I was just a one heat and done. But it was very well ran, and I hope we can keep that in the state. It's great for the state.
Are you going to have any plans to participate in that team derby that Seth was talking about? He said there's one less than an hour from home that's going to be paying $8,000 and 18 two-man teams.
I think that's that Kansas one. I've heard a little scuttlebutt about it. I haven't looked into it too much.
Yeah.
I'd love to do, I kind of jump on those big shows. I love to get into team shows, but then you're tied up to them. That's always the big thing, is you get tied up, I'd love to do King of the Ring coming up, but then, I can't, I want all that stuff out of my car. But the thing is, you don't have to build at a huge pace. You can build at your pace and then kind of go wherever it plays out when you get your build done. And I've always thought about team shows, but you're just tied into that show. It's my always thing. So
right.
I haven't heard a lot about that one. I think the one in Kansas is what he may be talking about. So but I'm not quite for sure.
If it's the one, if you're looking to get into it, it's too late. It sold out in like 31 seconds. They had to make it in an overflow heat. It was pretty popular.
Right.
But you're gonna have plenty of other opportunities for it. The King of the Ring show, we talked about that with two different versions of it. One of them's in Missouri and one of them's back in York this year.
Right, and then they've got Matt Newcomb does a pretty cool thing in Eustis. It's a small town out in western Nebraska. He's got the Twisted two-man team show. If you heard anything about that, but that's pretty cool what he's got going on there.
Okay.
But what he does is, the first year he took the two heat winners. The two heat winners went and played in the feature as a team. And then last year, the two heat winners did not become teammates, but they advanced to a drawing, and then you draw your teammate to go out in the feature. And that's pretty cool. And I haven't quite read what his format is this year, but he changes it up, and he does a cool team show as well. So
that's pretty neat.
We got, that other team show here. Yeah, it's really cool what Newcomb does with that. So
we did a heat draw show with him remotely one time. Remember they were using their phone and they did the draws. It was on a Thursday night or something. We came into the studio and we patched into their feed and played along with Facebook Live and stuff. It's a good group. Like you were saying earlier, I mean, Nebraska's got a lot. I never really thought about it from the perspective of they don't get the credit that they deserve, but there certainly is a lot more that we talk about going on in Nebraska through the course of the year than I guess sort of registered.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Oh yeah, I mean there's some great builders and great drivers here in the state that and it's cool to see them all get together at one show. Of course, there's still some missing, of course, but a good amount was hit. And it was fun to see them all, see their builds, and get to see them at one show per se, and get to talk to them all.
And that's the thing is like I mentioned, Cornhusker Havoc. That was like one of the big earliest.
No, finish your thought.
Big shows from Nebraska that I remember.
Husker Havoc was.
Yeah, Husker Havoc. I think
Husker
that was like 2004. Yeah, in Columbus, the indoor show. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I was pretty young in 2004. I was just getting into the demo circuit, but yeah, I remember watching those. Or I think they were even in Lincoln in one year too. So that was pretty cool.
2004.
Yeah, and then this has a similar name, but it's not connected to that one.
Yeah, no, but that's what I remember early.
Oh, okay, I'm with you now. I thought you were saying that this was like an extended lineage.
No. I'm just saying that was like one of the first like big shows.
Mm-hmm.
Husker Havoc was big. Like I remember.
Did Sam Williams have something to do
I don't know. I don't know. But I remember like that was.
I can't remember now.
It wasn't. Whatever. You remember there used to be a Derby video company way back in the day.
Derby's for you.
Yes. Yep. Derby's for you.
Yes.
And
Derby's for you is who put on Husker Havoc back in Columbus.
Yep.
And I don't know the exact people, but scuttlebutt is, and I'm probably the wrong person to getting into this, and I don't want to say anything wrong, but Derby's for you. They had that put on, and that was the big team show. And then somehow I think Bash came out of that.
Right.
So I think Sammy had a lot to do, with Husker Havoc, many, many, many years ago, and then it moved to Topeka, where it became Bash. So that's And I could be completely wrong. Don't quote me, but that's a little bit that I do know of it.
Yeah, because I remember, I almost want to say I watched the DVD of it somewhere.
Yeah.
One of the early ones, probably with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've got him in my basement.
Yeah.
They had that grudge match.
Yes, that's the one that
with Stava's crew, Highmark, and not Andy Hansen, who was the Minnesota crew, I thought, because Stava was a local Nebraska team, and then it was, I think, a Minnesota team.
I thought there was a Raptor Fab team, too.
Carnage. I remember that was carnage when that was done.
It was wild. I almost want to say Jesse Kimmey would have been involved at that time, too.
Yeah,
but we're going way back, and we're doing a lot of guessing.
Yeah.
So somebody's going to chime in and make us look really dumb.
I know the shows. I remember the heat, and like I said, it was hard hitting and carnage. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
So,
because I can see the cover of the DVD, like I remember it.
They did 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, that's and that was like one of the big forerunners of the big indoor shows. So, but that's I've thought about that for Nebraska is kind of like under the radar for whatever reason, but there's definitely a lot of good shows, a lot of good drivers, a lot of good builders. So. And
on the topic of Nebraska, tonight is the national championship game where we get to see LSU play against Clemson.
Close.
Say that again. What was that again?
Chris was being a goof.
Oh. My phone. I live in the middle of nowhere, so I have horrible reception where I sit.
That's all right.
Cut out a little bit on that one. All I heard was LSU, so I'm guessing you're talking football.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Big game. Of course, it starts at 9 o'clock.
Big game. Yeah. On your time, 9 o'clock your time.
Yeah. Which gets close to 6:15 my time when I got to get up tomorrow morning.
Is there anybody? What are you going to do with this car now? What a problem to have. You got a limited weld pre-made car that all you had to do is let the fuel drain out of the cylinders and it'll start again. Now what? You gonna cut it up?
Yeah. Oh, there'll be some early shows. Logan with Wreckless, he'll have what we call Anavards, Ravenna Days. That's an early show. Get Bent Promotions with Will Steinbeck and Jake Shaw. They'll have something like at North Platte. So the big thing is they're not really until June. I could look around. There may be some Kansas shows I can travel to, but I'll definitely want to get it. It'll be an early show. Get it done. Same type of driving. Just want it done. Go out there and know everyone's going to get hit hard, and hopefully I can get that thing nosed up and then finally cut my parts out.
It sounds like a great plan. I can't blame you for it. Sounds like fun.
Right, and I was so disappointed, because I knew what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, I'm going to just start full throttling everyone, and I made that hit, and then I knew I'm smart. I was like, okay, I'm fit this thing on the ground, and then I tried it twice, it clicked twice, and I was afraid I didn't want to break a rod. If it had any pressure on top of those cylinders, you're getting sketchy there. So. But we're good. There's no oil on the ground. All the rods are good, and she runs like she did before. So we just got to put a radiator in it because I was sitting a bit lower than that first kid I was hitting, and then we're good to go, and then send it again.
Perfect.
Well, hopefully you can come up with a hit that'll top that one that you had at Cornhusker Chaos, and be sure to keep in touch with us. Anybody that you want to make mention of before we let you go?
No, I mean, if, it's got some great friends here locally. The Steinbecks are awesome. And, of course, if you got any questions, I am the owner and operator of M&M Fabrication. And, look me up on my Facebook page for any parts you may need. So,
fantastic.
But thank you for having me on. It was great talking with you guys.
Awesome, man. We appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, you too. Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye now. Another one, Will Steinbeck. We forgot about those guys. I mean,
there's a lot of talent out there, and they don't. And you know what else they have that is very cool that no one else does?
GM trees?
No.
Oh.
Demolition Derby Hall of Fame.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. I knew that Nebraska had the figure 8 in Demolition Derby Hall of Fame, and it's always struck me as it was exclusive to Nebraska.
Yeah, well, they have a Nebraska
Andy, let me put you in.
Demolition Derby Hall of Fame.
That's cool.
Yep.
I have not been there.
You should go.
It would be outstanding if we went there and it turned out to be like Will Steinbeck's house. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Matt Newcomb's house. It's like, wow.
Like Chris Marquardt's house, the Hall of Fame.
I got some pieces in the back of my garage that should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. But now, if anybody tried to walk back there, they got a path about that wide that they can stay on, otherwise risk tetanus. We got Andrew Lewis joining us on the line. Andrew picked up a win in one of the team classes, the limited ball team class out there at Cornhusker Chaos. There's Andrew. He teamed with Jacob Schuster in that one, and in doing so, he also took home the Mad Dog Award. So not too bad. Andrew, how are you?
Pretty good. Just getting over a cold.
Well, that's a story of probably 85% of America right now. It's been a rough trip. How's Nick doing anyway?
Good. It cleared up.
Brian's boy Nick was in urgent care over the weekend with some who knows
stuff.
what. It was viral is what it turned out to be. Thankfully, it wasn't the flu or anything major. But
yeah,
I was just checking to see how he was doing. So the cure for the cold apparently was money.
Yeah.
How'd the team show go? Some very kind words from Matt Hurt talking about how you were a hammer out there.
Oh, it was a pretty good run. It's probably the calmest I've ever tried to drive. So,
let me interrupt you real quick. Hang on. The calmest Brian he's ever driven got him Mad Dog.
I can guarantee that's probably the calmest I've ever drove.
That's awesome.
Well, carry on, please.
I normally am. I normally have no chance of ever winning, and it doesn't ever bother me. I don't ever go for that kind of. I guess the winning thing never was really that big of an allure.
Right.
That's awesome.
I just got tired of, never having a win. I think I build pretty capable cars for the last couple of years to where they could have won if somebody would have calmed down a little bit in there. But sometimes it's just not me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I know my problem is at my hometown. Sorry, Josh Joe, if you still listen. Is that like I'll make a big hit and I'll hear the crowd above all the cars. I'm like, wow, that's cool. And then once that happens, the foot goes to the floor, and it's usually soon thereafter. I'm like, man, I probably shouldn't have been hitting quite like that. But it happens.
Much it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I enjoy running hard, and it's always been kind of how I've always ran. So it's just this one was different. I knew if I drove hard or got myself stuck that I knew there wouldn't have been anybody out there that would have, besides a slim few, that would have helped me get unstuck, because I don't think we were making a lot of friends out there.
Sounds like a fun derby.
Did you guys have a game plan when you went out there that you were going to go out there and be a hammer and Jacob
we
was going to coast?
We did, but my friend Jacob, we had training problems with that Mark V all weekend. It's just the way that car bent. It was the first Mark V build for him and me. I mean, it was a little bit of a trial and error kind of thing, and we tried some stuff that works in my opinion in the Fords, and did not work in his car. So it's just the way the car bent and pivoted at the firewall. It just put too much pressure on that cross member, and we pulled the pump bolts out of two separate trannies. So,
whoops.
Yep. So we tried relief cutting the cross member, but in fairness, we did a transmission swap on that car from Saturday morning till when we had to have it done and ready to go to go back into lockdown for tech at 11. So we only had like 3 hours, and stuff gets rushed and stuff like that, and we didn't quite get it perfect, and I think it broke again. So I did relief cut the cross member on it, but it apparently wasn't enough. So
that's crazy.
But,
you got to slow down enough to let the cross member bend, right?
Yeah. I usually do. We really do, and it was not even maximum cross member for the rules allowed. It was just the way the car was bending, and I don't know, it just pivoted the car directly at the transmission bell. It's just the way the car bent. So
that's never good for a train.
I wouldn't give up on the Mark V's. I'd like to do another one. I mean, we were originally going to build a pair of Mark V's for the show, but I ended up having that two-door done and just sitting there and so I ended up just running that for my car.
Mark V was only around a couple of years, 77 to 79.
77 to 79.
Yeah,
is the Mark V. So
they're I've seen a couple of them run, and I don't know if it's different builds or what, but they seem inconsistent. Like I've never seen.
That's and the allure for me for them is I like weird stuff. I like building weird stuff. I like building the stuff that not everybody builds.
Yep, that's cool.
So, and I mean, we have a pair of big frame Edsels that we would like to build. I have a 60 Lincoln I'd like to put together. I mean, just 58 to 60 T-Birds. Just weird stuff.
Yes. Those T-Birds can be hard.
Yeah, we've seen that. And then we've seen the old Fords the last couple of years at the Relic class at San Filippo. Yeah. I mean, last year it was all old Ford products.
Almost not fair.
Yeah, but I mean they got after it. So I mean it was good, but it's just crazy. I mean, and sooner or later, as we've touched on before, you're gonna have to make the stuff that wasn't popular at one time tough, because you're not gonna be able to find the popular tough stuff now.
But you heard Andrew say it just a second ago. He said we're going to take all the stuff that applies to the Fords of that are just a little bit newer than that, make it apply to that, and we've seen that work with Cadillacs, and we've seen it work with the GMs. So a little bit of refinement, and the Mark Vs will be fine, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yep.
I think the Mark V has a lot of potential. I mean, they look very similar to a Cadillac in a lot of aspects. I mean, they're impressive in a lot of ways. They're just weak in ways that the suspension's just like a Cadillac. It's pretty crap. The package tray in the back makes for extra headaches. I mean, they're not a mainstream easy car. But I think if a guy built them solely for a while, I think he'd probably get them figured out pretty well.
Yeah. And that's what people are going to start doing. We've touched on that before. Is that guys are going to have to start building the stuff that they don't normally isn't run, because eventually we're gonna run out of old iron. I mean, it's going to happen.
Oh yeah.
It might be 30 or 40 years down the road now, but
I'm blanking on his name. He lives up north, Austin, I think. He went out to Bash for Cash this year and had the red, white, and blue door wraps on his car. And he has driven a ton of those Lincolns. I can't think of his last name now. He's from around here, but yeah, he runs a pile of those things. Yeah. And not quite to the extent of what the limited weld style rules, but I mean, he certainly holds his own in those.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're a big car. I mean, like you said, a little work they'll be good.
That one didn't go as well as my two-door did, but it definitely was a lot less, I mean, I definitely did try some stuff for the limited weld side of it on my Ford that I built for sure. But I mean, in the end, it's still just a new style Ford. I mean, it ain't nothing special.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely, them Fords are, they're the most manipulated car out there, but everybody keeps running them.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I actually ran 2 old iron before with the limited weld rules we have up here, and I actually was not impressed with either one of my old iron I built before that.
What'd you run?
The one was just a Buick LeSabre, and then the other one was a 73 Pontiac. So I mean, nothing special, no full frame cars or anything like that. But they didn't bend at where the box goes into the C channel on the side. So I mean, they actually just blew in the S's. Okay. And I don't know. They didn't hold up like I was hoping they would for having that much money in the cars and that kind of stuff. I mean, I haven't given up on the old iron by any means. I got some old 98s and stuff like that I'd like to try. I think that would be, if I build another old iron, it would have to be a full frame or something.
Those 98s are pretty tough cars. They're becoming more and more popular. I've seen a lot of guys running them. Mark Siopa had a 98. He had a real good run with at Bash for Cash a few years ago. He got down top 10 in the turn back the clock class. So they're definitely becoming a more popular car.
Well, I mean, I'd rather have old 98 than a C-channel Pontiac.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't kidding there. You are not kidding there.
But it was a good run. I enjoyed seeing a lot of people, and we got to meet a lot of people, and everybody came up afterwards and shook my hand and stuff, and it was nice to finally do decent at one. Usually I'm just watching everything from the sidelines halfway through.
Yep, I know I feel.
But
I'm glad everything went well. Are you guys going to team up on anything else coming up this summer?
oh, probably if we can. I mean, I want to try to get caught up on some other stuff for sure. It was a lot of derby car building there for a while. I mean, it was like 3 months of nothing but derby car stuff and everything else. And everything else seems to fall apart during that time.
Yep.
And when once you get done with the derby and you wake up and you look around and everything's falling apart, it's like, ooh, man, I better tend to some other things.
Yep, we've heard that across the country as well.
Yeah. Well, you got a little bit of time off before the county fair season kicks in. You going to do any of the big postseason shows?
Yeah, actually, we're signed up for the 2-man extreme class at Capital Carnage.
Oh, cool! That's coming soon.
So
it's a preseason show.
I think we're going to build a Monte Carlo for that one.
Cool.
Nice. That's cool.
They're tough.
Yep.
Yeah, just something different.
I enjoy the different.
Yeah. And that's what's always made, in my opinion, it's always made Capital City Carnage fun, is that we do see a lot of different builds out there. Guys try different things, and
especially the 2-man class.
Yeah,
it's the throwaway class,
But now that they're paying $10,000, I don't know if it's going to be a throwaway class anymore. It's we'll be seeing a bunch of clamshell wagons and Cadillacs now. It's all good.
Yeah.
With
the rules down there though for Carnage, I don't think I'd want a Cadillac because you can't do anything to the front suspension.
Yeah, with limited weld. But I mean, it's
like less than limited weld. The 2-man class is.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, and that was why it was so, it was so popular to try other stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, are guys going to come down there with, still bring stuff that isn't as.
I could see a couple clamshell wagons down there. I could for sure see that with the amount of money that's getting put up down there.
Oh, yeah.
In a wagon, I think you could build pretty damn good for the rules down there, but I don't think a Cadillac would be good because I think the cars would be tough as crap, but you'd have to be rolling around on stock front suspension, hoping it would hold together.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a fast-paced track.
It'd be like building that Mark V down there. We thought about building a Mark V for that 2-man class, but the front suspensions are just so flimsy stock.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yep.
Especially as hard as that track is.
I'd rather keep steering and have the car bend almost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Steering's pretty important, no doubt.
Well, down there, maneuverability with the 2-man thing is huge.
Yeah. Yep.
So
it's going to be interesting. I mean, with the builds that they have for that 2-man, and then because they're running heats in a feature, correct? It's not just one and done.
Right.
That's 50
that's
cars.
going to be tough.
It'll be interesting to see what makes it back out for the feature and what kind of shape they are in. I think we could see something like years ago when we went to the Superstock show at the first round of Reckless Warriors.
In the Superstock show that was the week before the Keystone Nationals, after
or a couple weeks, where
it was still in Brookville.
Yes, and a lot of the features cars came out. There was one that was duct taped together, literally.
I remember that.
Remember?
Yes. Yeah,
literally duct taped together. I think we're going to see a lot of that. I think guys are going to, because I mean, with the money that's being offered, you're going to have to fix if you qualify.
You have to do whatever you can.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're gonna, and I mean, do those cars get fix-it plates or no?
Yeah, we get fix-it plates and stuff. It sounds like the builds just aren't, in my opinion, aren't really good enough to handle a heat consi and a feature. I just don't think there's enough there. You're going to have to. It's going to be a boring show to watch in the heats. I'll guarantee you that.
Man, I hope not. That class was.
I don't see how they could be. I don't see how you could be a mad dog or a hard driver in there because the builds just ain't good enough to take driving hard in the heat, driving hard in a feature too. I just don't think it'd happen.
It'll be interesting.
Once they get fix-it plates, it'll change all
Yeah,
that.
yeah. They put the fix-it plates on
All the confidence in the world.
Yeah, a couple plates on the frame, you're good to go.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. We ran last year as we were the dirty poncho car last year at the Capital City Carnage. We flipped ourselves over in the one heat.
Was that that was the mid-50s car?
No, it was like a 73 two-door Pontiac.
Okay.
It was purple, and that big dirty poncho sticker on the side of it.
Gotcha.
So
I was thinking of one of the maybe it was like a relic class car.
Yeah, there was like a 53 Pontiac Chiefed in there last year, but it got the clip cleaned off it in like not very long.
Yep.
So.
Well, we certainly look forward to catching up with you out there. Is there anybody that you want to make mention of or anything before we cap it for the evening?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I got to thank my wife and my family and stuff for helping and just putting up with the stupid hobby. It's got to be the stupidest hobby I've ever heard of, but get away from.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I organized car accidents, and we talk about it for at least an hour every Monday.
No doubt.
I'm glad you came on the show, man. I look forward to catching up with you down there in Topeka coming up in a few weeks. We'll try and connect and be safe building, traveling, man. Appreciate it, and congratulations on the team win.
Have a good one.
Later.
I didn't mean to cut you off. If there was something else you wanted to add, feel free.
Nope, I think we're good. I'm not much of a huge talker, but I appreciate you guys.
For sure.
Cool.
Appreciate you coming on, Andrew. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks a lot. A couple thoughts from Andrew Lewis. Won the Limited Weld Team Derby with Jacob Schuster on top of getting the Mad Dog Award there, and we're going to see him in a couple weeks over at Capital City Carnage. So celebrating your birthday is Wicked Team Derby. Coming up January the 25th. Everybody's excited about that one. That's going to be Redneck Rumble. I don't know why I said the Wicked Team Derby. We've been talking about teams all this time. It's not. It's Redneck Rumble. I apologize. Indoor Demolition Derby there. Friday night on the 24th, there's going to be a Rebel Run Enduro as part of that show. So that'll be cool to see. This is the Union County Fairgrounds in Sturgis, Kentucky. Again, the Redneck Rumble 2020 coming up January the 25th. We're going to try and catch up with those guys next week if they can squeeze us in. And we're also going to be talking with Todd Siopa about the Florida Southern Nationals, which is coming up on February the 1st in Arcadia, Florida. So that's around the corner. Winter Slam is knocking on the door. Before long, we're going to be having, I think it would be Bluegrass was next. Freedom Hall would be after that. And then
it's on.
Then it's Capital City Carnage. I don't know why we're surprised by it anymore, but
it doesn't slow down, that's for sure.
No, it does not slow down. That is for certain.
Did you get everything on your list?
I got everything. Checked everything off the list. I'm sure there's stuff that we forgot, but
somebody will tell you about it.
What's that?
Someone will tell you about it.
Yes. We had a lot of man, can you remembers tonight? So I'm interested to see if we get any traction on
any flack.
Well, that too. I was thinking more along the lines if we had any comments or thoughts or anybody weighing in on any of the content and stuff that we had on tonight. But it was a full show. I'm still trying to remember the guy who drove that car. He was a New York guy. He loves Lincolns. He was up like Oswego, up towards Jamie St. Mary's, Malone area.
I can't believe you can't remember a name. This is the first time it's ever happened to you.
No, it's not the first time, and it won't be the last time. But it's
I think it's the first for sure.
It's infrequent. I'll put it that way. You know what? He was on the same team with
Team Ramrod.
No,
just kidding.
No. This is driving me crazy now. I can't believe that he's going to be. His feelings are going to be hurt. I apologize for it. But when we had the Orange and Black Crash Course team at Kings of Old School with Cliff Donnelly and the Backus boy, he was with him, and I cannot think of it. Message me, please. I'm waiting for Josh to message me. I can't think of it.
Josh is busy selling cars. He picked up like 12 of them.
I know, right? He's buying everything he can. Did you see his post? This is why I can't have cash in my hand.
Yeah. Must have got his taxes back earlier or something.
I know, right? I was wondering the same thing. Well, what do you think? Anything else we got to touch on?
Fork it. We're
Yep,
done.
That's going to do it. 3:04 in the books. We appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us. We're going to be back again probably next Tuesday because we're going to be off Monday, right?
What's Monday?
Monday is Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what we're doing with our kids. That's the only reason why I said that.
You're the boss.
We're planning anything along those lines, but we'll keep you posted on all that stuff as we move forward. We'll see you again next time for number 305. We're going to be trying to catch up with Todd Syoper, Brandon Dixon, and more coming up on the next episode of The Crash Course. We'll see you then. The Crash Course Live is presented by Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carney. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com. Reckless Abandoned Derby Apparel, and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.